Sexy Mama, LaDonna Raeh.
LaDonna Raeh Show. That's right. The LaDonna Raeh Show is at it again, guys. Good morning. And welcome to the LaDonna Raeh Show, where we speak life and liberation into every conversation. I wasn't even trying to rhyme, but I did it. Today, I'm honored to have two powerhouse guests whose story is not just inspiring, it's transformational. You may have recently seen their powerful video go viral, or you might know them from the Oscar-nominated documentary Time. Time won't give me time. And time. Oh, sorry. Well, this gave them an intimate look, this gave us an intimate look at let me be real, okay? I don't want to give you any spoilers because I'm thinking it through, all right? But this gives us a very close look at their fight to reunite their family after a 21-year battle of incarceration. Now, don't act like you don't know somebody that's been incarcerated, okay? My brothers were taken away from me due to the penal system. I just found out recently that my older brother, was an honor student, and he made a bad mistake in dating someone, and that changed his life forever. My heart was broken, and I'm talking about recently. I just found this out. So some people that have gone through the system have gotten snatched up. You're looking at ICE going, whew. Yeah, but your kinfolk have been snatched up by ICE as well. It just wasn't that particular ICE. It was the other ICE that's colder on the other side. But the story didn't end there for them. It's still unfolding. And the next chapter is nothing short of revolutionary. Now, for those of you that have experienced incarceration in your family and you still made it, they still made it, still know that one thing you can't get back is time. But you can restart those relationships, and it's very important. And let me just give a proper introduction to myself starting out so that you'll know who to tune into each and every week on the LaDonna Raeh Show. My name is LaDonna Raeh. I'm the host of the LaDonna Raeh Show. Talking to content creators is my specialty. But content creators with a story that is connectable or that you can relate to, man, those are the connections I truly want to make on this show, on this platform. You have to join me in clapping your hands for my next guest and my guest of the hour. My guests that we are going to have on the LaDonna Raeh Show are Fox. Look. I know you're looking for a Fox. Oh, Foxy lady. Fox and Rob Richardson. Give it up for them. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having us, LaDonna Raeh.
You are most welcome, and you're always welcome to be on this platform. I love the story that you gave, just an inside peek of the word that we often don't like to hear, and that's incarceration. People are going through this even though they're not the ones that are incarcerated. And I know this just from firsthand experience. But this is not about me. I'll have my time to share my story, which I've never done. Okay? Yeah, when it comes to my brothers. Wow. But having you guys come to the show and talk about your experience with this was just a huge connection to our audience and many other audiences out there. I just wanted to make sure that we bring everybody up to speed, especially those meeting you through this show. So who are Fox and Rob Richardson, and what was the message behind the video that just set the internet on fire?
Well, for those in your audience, LaDonna Raeh, that are meeting us for the first time, we are collectively known as Fox and Rob Rich. We're a formerly incarcerated couple who spent more than 21 years behind bars before receiving clemency in 2018. That was not the full sum of our story, because we are also the Oscar-nominated subjects, or the subjects of the Oscar-nominated documentary Time. And as part of your show today and that viral video that you were talking about, we are also the creators behind Time 2 Unfinished Business. And if that wasn't enough, my sister here this is her directorial debut for this documentary, and so we're really excited about that. Being able to get behind the helm of our fierce leader, our director of this film, and we're really excited about it. And judging from the responses from that video that went out and went viral, it seems like we're not the only ones that are excited.
For sure. And Fox, I want to hear from you as well.
Well, listen, I try to let him do some of the heavy lifting because them 21 years he was gone, he got a whole lot of catching up to do. And like you said in the intro, time is something that you can't get back. The only thing that we can do is make sure we're maximizing the time that we have. And so it is indeed an honor and a privilege to be here with you on the LaDonna Raeh Show to share our family story once again, not just the one that's in the Oscar-nominated documentary Time that is streaming on Amazon Prime Video, but also Time 2, which when you talk about being a content creator, this was a vision of mine immediately when we wrapped on the first film. Many people don't know that the first film was actually a concept of my husband's. And we thought that the only way we would be able to get out of Louisiana's criminal justice system from underneath a practical life sentence was to tell our story. And so he suggested that we do a documentary to raise national attention about what was going on with our family here in the Dirty South. And so I go back to New Orleans. I'm working to put everything together because, this is the mission. We got to get home and families got to be restored. And so what we were able to do was when you take one step, LaDonna, God will take two. On that journey to doing a documentary, God sent us the award-winning Garrett Bradley, who was working on an op doc for the New York Times. I spoke to her about taking our story back to the New York Times and see if they would partner with us and greenlight it, to which they did. And man, when you talk about being able to do that short op doc for the New York Times, and when we wrap the film, not only is my husband's freedom now a part of that story, but I give that director over 20 years of archive that I had been shooting myself because I knew that that what had happened to our family was bigger than just me. That most people are like you, LaDonna. We don't tell our stories. We're not out in public sharing it. Yeah, they took one from me too. And until we can find our voice, and that's what I'm hopeful for in this film, that we can begin to find our voice to speak to this system that is seeking to incarcerate and re-enslave our people. And that's why I'm excited that this project will be released on Juneteenth here in New Orleans and also across the nation through a virtual watch party. It is called the Time to Watch Campaign for Freedom, and we're just excited about being able to share it with your listeners.
Why you got to be so slick with it? You know what I'm saying? It's time to watch. I like that. That is so catchy, and it makes sense, and it ties into the documentary itself. Now, your story touched so many hearts when Time dropped in 2020, but not only did it become an Oscar-nominated film, but it also changed the way we see love, justice, perseverance, hope. Support. Okay. I'm tearing up thinking about it, because it is it's too close. Like it's so close, too close, very close to probably 99% of us. But what was it like for the world to witness your journey in such an intimate way? I mean, can you even express that?
It was so vulnerable. To tell your story, to to make yourself susceptible to other people's thoughts about how you have conducted your life. And, there are a lot of people in this system, the same energy that watch people hang from trees, our ancestors, and take pictures and send them to their other loved ones. That same sadistic energy exists today where people think that no matter what crime you do, you could never do enough time. And no matter how egregious the time is, they think that you deserve it. Even people that look like us. And so I just know that what God had done for me, I had a duty and an obligation to do for other families. They sentenced my husband to die in prison. And through the faith of God and our love and commitment to one another, we were able to undo what the state of Louisiana destined for us. And so our responsibility is now to show that to other families, to know that we must go back into these systems and reclaim our loved ones. Yes, maybe we did wrong, but we are more than the worst thing that we have ever done, LaDonna Raeh.
Yeah.
And just like everybody else, we deserve whatever chances God is willing to give us.
Yeah. And that says a lot. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, that was
okay.
it. I think Rob was over here. Amen. I get to move in him sometimes too.
I didn't mean to interrupt the amen. I didn't mean to interrupt the man saying amen. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me stop. I want to give
you are old one to know.
I want to give some general stats, some statistics, just so I know people that are watching, they know, they have an idea, or they've even researched what the statistics are of our incarcerated Black people, or even the people in America as a whole. But watch this. There's a racial disparity. And in the United States, we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. Over 1.9 million people are currently incarcerated in state, federal, and local jails across the United States. Now, this is according to the Prison Policy Initiative of 2024. Though the U.S. makes up about 5% of the world's population, it houses nearly 20% of the world's prison population. Now, here's where the racial disparities come in, because everybody thinks that they know a Pookie and Ray Ray, and I'm not calling you one. I'm saying the should I say the cultural disparities that we are always faced with when it comes to incarceration or being labeled, arrested, mistreated, abused, killed. Okay. When it comes to the prison system, Black Americans are incarcerated at nearly 5 times the rate of white Americans. 1 in every 3 Black boys born today can expect to be incarcerated at some point in their life if current trends continue. Now, we've got a new administration, and I don't feel like using that name on my platform, but that is the president. Okay. And without reform, even through state, federal, then this number is going to continue to grow. And unfortunately, once you're in the system, it is so difficult for families to continue as they would have been able to with that person present in the home. Agreed?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. I mean, when you talk about the fact that our incarceration is touching every fiber of America, and it is not just the poor, it is not just the Black, it is all the way to our highest office, where our exiting president's son was a convicted felon who had he not been pardoned, having a weapon, was supposed to do an automatic 5 years in prison. Our current sitting president is a convicted felon 35 times over. So when you talk about this issue of incarceration, it is touching every level of our society. It is everybody's problem, not just one particular group of people's, LaDonna Raeh.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly. To continue with a few of the stats, unfortunately, over 5 million children in the U.S. have a parent or have had a parent incarcerated at some point. 1 in 9 Black children has an incarcerated parent, compared to the 1 in 57 white children. Let that sit for a minute. And I say that quite often because you have to really think about that. And instead of accepting it as our fate, we have to do something and legislate. I'm not trying to rhyme today, but it is so necessary for us to remember the things that we need to do. We used to sing songs to get through the day. Now we gotta sing songs to make way for our future generations. The cost of incarceration is so expensive, and while DOJ is cleaning up the government payroll, a look needs to be taken at the incarceration cost that our country is spending every year. It's more than $80 billion a year, and
80 billion.
We're talking about now. It's not. Look, we're talking about lost wages, lost productivity, family support systems. But if you think about the overall population of the Black community and how it impacts it, it kind of explains why our community is slow to thrive. Because
yes, it's intentional.
It's
It is
intentional.
intentional.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so one of the things that Rob and I are looking at, LaDonna, not to go off track,
No.
but for me, it's not, I don't want to just talk about the problems. I want to talk about solutions. And so one of the things that I am hopeful that when people see Time to Unfinished Business, they can check it out on our website, time2movie.com, so they can follow us and see, just all the details around this magnificent Juneteenth campaign. But one, we got to take personal responsibility. The most heart-wrenching thing for me was when I was in handcuffs and shackles being taken to the hospital for my first OBGYN appointment, and I see the people staring at me and trying to look away like they don't see me. And then I thought to myself at my moments, my lowest moments, that I did this to myself. See, we can only be enslaved through the commission being duly convicted of a crime. I made a choice in this society that where I knew I could be enslaved by my actions. And so in doing so, I had to understand that, okay, I made a bad mistake. I fell right in that big hole they built for me to fall in. And how do I dig myself back out of this? And in that moment, I thought of my ancestors that were on auction blocks to no fault of their own. And I said, if they can hold their head up and fight for their freedom, even in the midst of such degradation, then certainly I better do the same. And so in time, too, we are hopeful that people will be able to watch freedom unfold, that freedom is possible for our families, and that this Juneteenth, we've got to ensure that freedom is at the center of our conversation.
Right. I agreed. And and the difference between the ancestors and someone who is taking accountability is, like you said, they didn't have a choice in the matter. And looking back, hindsight, of course, you say, well, I wouldn't have done that, if I really understood that I would be back in the same place as my ancestors. I do want to ask you about you recorded so much of your life on camera. Was that just instinct, or did you feel something bigger brewing even then?
I knew something big. I had been duly convicted. I had been transformed in my own being. Well, I knew I had a higher calling. I remember when I graduated from college and with my master's, I had 2 children. Rob and I were still trying to figure it out. We had 3 children between us. And so right at the moment when he comes to ask me to marry, I had finished reading a book by Les Brown, Live Your Dreams. And so, and in Les Brown's book, I learned that you could actually be paid to speak. And I said, man, I love speaking. But he also said that you had to have a platform. You had to have something that you would speak about. And I said, ooh, I wonder what my platform would be. And lo and behold, be careful what you ask for, LaDonna. I'm like, okay, Lord, here I am. Use me. I would have been the one that thought when I heard what happened to my family, I would have been the very one saying, shame on them. They got what they deserve. The higher educated, well-to-do Black person in America that believes that everybody that did what they did got the time they deserved. And so now I'm a living testimony to say that no, our families are not getting the time that they deserve. No, we don't mind paying for retribution. To err is human, but to forgive is divine. Where is our forgiveness in this Christian-led country that we profess to be in?
And and Rob, I want to give you an opportunity because us girls are just talking and chatting it up.
I know. I was just gonna pass the offering tray around.
Oh, okay, because you know, right? You like the hype man. You like, woo, amen. I feel that. I'm loving it, but I want to make sure that I'm being cognizant of your space as well because it's the 2 of you. You are representing the Black family. And you, like you said, it affects every fiber of our community. Every fiber of our community is affected. Now, the new chapter, a new chapter. You got Time 2 coming up, Unfinished Business.
Okay.
A powerful sequel in the works. All right. What makes this chapter different from the first? And this is your first time directing. What was it like? I know I got a lot of questions.
Well, one is probably the core character. In the first documentary, it was more so about the love that Fox and I shared between one another, the undying, unrelentless, or the relentless pursuit for freedom in that particular one. I think someone characterized it best when they said that it was a mesmerizing portrait of resilience and radical love. And that by far would probably best characterize what the first documentary was about. The second documentary, on the other hand, was about the unfinished business. Much in the case of many people you see that go through situations, you don't sometimes hear about other people who were also a part of a crime or a situation that took place. And very few people know that there was a third person with Fox and I in this robbery. My nephew, Ontario, was the third person in our particular instance. And although I was able to get out through clemency, the same opportunity was not afforded to him for a number of different reasons. But with that being said, knowing that we went into this situation as a family, we knew that we were also going to come out as a family as well. So it was not only our responsibility, but it was our duty to make sure that that my family was totally restored when it came to this matter. So with that being said, time two takes our viewers into life after incarceration for Fox and I as subjects to the first documentary. And it also takes us deeper into the work that we do with freedom that was given to us. We do a work here in New Orleans called participatory defense. It is a learning model that basically teaches legal awareness as a best form of defense to people that are system impacted. And we had the organization here in Louisiana, but there are 40 different hubs that exist throughout the country teaching this same model. And we judge the success of our work by the amount of time that we save someone, opposed to the amount of time that they've been sanctioned to serve. And so through this film, you're also able to see what the first film did not show, and that is the steps to freedom, the journey, the walk to freedom. So that is why we're urging people this Juneteenth to not only watch this film, but to also witness firsthand what it is that that freedom looks like, the journey of freedom looks like through the tale of one family. But knowing that that one tale represents the tales of that 1.9, that 2.3 million people that are caged and incarcerated in dungeons and prisons and so forth all across our country. And so in our efforts to relieve my nephew from the sentence that was still hanging around his neck, we implemented much of those same practices in order to be able to bring about his resolve.
And Fox, this is your first time directing. What was it like stepping into that role and telling your own story through your own lens?
Well, I would probably say that it is actually the first time I've gotten credit for directing. But it was my archive footage that made up almost 75% of the first film that was nominated for an Oscar. And that footage I had shot decades before I ever met our film's director. And so I think that this was a natural transition for me because I had spent the past 30 years behind the camera as well as in front of it. As a matter of fact, Filmmaker Magazine credited me in their article as being one who became doing selfies before anybody else.
The mother of selfies.
The mothers of selfies, they call me.
No. That would be me. That would be me.
Girl, you're 25. You're 25. Stop it. And so for me, this story was just important for me to tell. And so when no one else wanted to partner with me on telling this story, it was incumbent upon me to do it.
That's right.
So often we have stories that are important and God has called us to do a work, but we will rely on everybody else to manifest that work and not trust that the same God that gave us the vision will give us the wisdom that we need to make it manifest. So you ain't the only one rhyming this morning, LaDonna Raeh.
I know that's right. Come on with it. We're gonna have a battle here. It'd be great.
Okay.
It was definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a daunting undertaking. I don't deny that at all.
Yeah.
From raising the funding to the film to making sure that you had the right people that you had invited on the project. But because again, this was a vision that was bigger than me, it was the most blessed experience I have ever had as an entrepreneur.
I love it.
But a daunting task nonetheless.
But hard
Yeah.
and intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
All the things.
See, if time one would have been a trash of a project and not done well, then I guess the second one wouldn't have been hard to come behind. But when you have a project that has been as highly as critically acclaimed as Time the original has been, that is a lot to come behind. You know, it's like coming behind, I guess, Jay-Z trying to come behind Reasonable Doubt, or Nas trying to come behind Illmatic or something, you know. I mean, it was just a lot to, right? Since y'all rhyming this morning.
You gotta love it. Yeah, I mean, what's better than number one? It's kind of, I get it.
Right,
you know?
right.
And literally, because you got time one and time two. What's better than number one? So yeah, we spitting bars today. But watch this. You spoke of your nephew, Ontario, who is still incarcerated.
Okay.
What's waiting for him on the other side when he comes home?
Man, probably one of the biggest things that I think that my nephew has been hopeful to manifest for himself is basically when he would wake up outside of prison bars and be able to behold a sunrise and a sunset that wasn't skewed by the bars. And that is the one thing that he has always said, that, man, when I come home, the one thing that I want to be able to do is to be able to rise in the morning with the rising sun, and I want to be able to retire at the evening, you know, with the sun going down, and I want to be able to do that absent of prison bars. And I said, wow, you know, that's really that's not a big tall order to fulfill,
right.
But at the same time, man, it's so meaningful, because this is not me or someone that is on the outside of this situation and trying to help someone who's incarcerated, but yet someone who's been incarcerated for more than 2 decades myself, and understanding exactly what that means. I mean, just so much of life is seen through the filters of prison bars or prison walls, chicken wire, you know, and all those types of things that, you know, that really stand in the way of all what it is that God's beauty that you're trying to behold. And so with that being said, when I left prison, one of the biggest takeaways for me after 21 years of that experience is that the understanding that to be free is to free other people. Mm-hmm. And with that, it wasn't just my nephew. There were so many other people that were incarcerated with me that I felt like I had a duty to at least be a voice, to at least lend my hands to trying to make better their situation. And most people probably understand this when it comes to war, and how it is that people that are blessed enough to be able to return from war unscathed, and they know that they've left someone behind, and they call it survivor's guilt. Much of the same holds true for people that are incarcerated, because you've been making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, tuna fish sandwiches with people. You've been sharing a pack of ketchup because there was none. I mean, it's just been such an intimate moment, you know, inside of prison walls, where the people that you are there with for extended periods of time, you become closer to them than many of the people that you share blood with, you know, because bonding is about experiences. And if you spent the last 21 years in an experience with someone, whether it's war, whether it's prison, or whatever the circumstances are, you become extremely close to those people because you're able to see them at their most vulnerable moments, and you see the rawest version of themselves. And that being said, when I came home, I knew that I had a duty and an obligation to make what I am now experiencing. I wanted to make it readily available for other people, starting with my nephew.
Wow, that is so deep, because I think about, even though it's not the same, but my father spent 50 years on the same job, and his connection to his coworkers was stronger than those to his family. Like the steel mill basically got all his attention, because he was looking forward to going to the cookout every day. You know, because those become your brothers and your sisters and your niece and your nephew and your play daughter and play son, and that's where you go, and that's where you put all your time. And so you speaking of this from the prison walls, it seems like there's an intent, or it's intentional to put you there, and it's intentional to make you see nothing but that. So that,
That's right.
But
That's
then
right.
when you get out, when you're there, just correct me, are you able to reflect on the little things? They all of a sudden, or should I say over time, being behind those walls, you start appreciating the little things that you once had. And then when you
Right.
get out, you can appreciate having access to them.
That's right. That's right. And when you said that, LaDonna, it immediately took me back to an experience that Fox and I had during one of our visits. When you talk about the little things, clearly there was a whole lot more things that I would have loved to be experiencing with my wife. But in a moment, I was rubbing my wife's arm, her forearm, right? And just rubbing along her forearm.
Looking me in my eyes.
And we were having a conversation, talking, minding our own business, so we thought. And I was just rubbing up and down her forearm. And all of a sudden, the lady abruptly interrupts
the guard.
our conversation, the prison guard. And she says, she reaches for the table and she hits the table. And she says, "Hey, I'm going to need you to stop touching her arm like that." And I'm sitting there thinking, like, her arm?
Right.
Not her breast. Not her
right.
Not my thigh.
Not her
Right.
thigh, not the inner workings, none of that.
Right.
Her forearm. You are going to have to stop rubbing her arm like that. And I was like, wow, even the smallest of things that we are hopeful to have in a moment, they work to deny you that as well.
Yeah.
So yes, prison is a terrible experience on so many different levels.
Wow. It is structured to break you. And
That's right,
of
that's
any
right.
the smallest pleasures in life, they want to control you not having access to it. I have so many more questions, but I don't know how much time we have. I don't think it'll take long. Can you hang around for a little bit longer?
We've got a few more interviews that
Okay.
I know that are lined up back to back, and
Okay.
the next one is at 10:55.
Oh, okay. So I got 5 minutes.
Yes.
All right. I can do it in 5 minutes. That's a long time in radio.
Okay.
Well, work your thing, Miss LaDonna Raeh.
All right. So I don't even know where to start now. Now that I got this 5 minutes. The campaign tagline is "To be free is to free others." And you mentioned that. And I wrote down a few things that I think is helpful to our audience, because people are always seeking freedom and they feel like they can't get it in this country, but you absolutely can if you change your perspective. So if you want to be free, free others, or to be free is to free others. If you want to be rich, make others wealthy, right? And they say, if you want to be wealthy, make others rich. So it's all about what can you do or be of service to other people? But how can our audience be a part of that mission? To be free is to free others.
Well, I would probably start off with the simplest thing. Maybe you don't have time in your schedule to go out and visit the prison or help someone with their legal matter or mentor a child that might be at risk. But what you can do is always use your resources where you don't have time otherwise. Our organization is PDM NOLA. Our initiative for Rich Family Ministries is PDM NOLA. Our website is pdmnola.org. So you can go there and donate. That is one thing. But I would even take it down to something as simple as what we can do for Black people as a whole. Above that, LaDonna, is one, making sure that we become the greatest people of integrity this country has ever known, because for us not to means that we will experience enslavement. And so I would just encourage mothers, as we are coming up on Mother's Day, fathers, that we have got to make sure that crime, breaking the law, unless it is good trouble, is not an option for our families. I don't care how dark or how challenging it gets. Enslavement is not the option for us. And so that is number one. Number two is let's just work to be extra kind to each other. You know, just be intentionally black and happy. Well, when I see a black person, I'm excited just because I'm seeing them. So I'm going to smile for them. I'm going to hold the door open for them. I'm going to extend black privilege to them because their very existence in this country is a form of resistance.
I got one.
The very existence.
If they let you over in their lane, wave to them. Say thank you.
Wave
Let's get back to that.
Right.
Yes, yes. Just being
man.
extra kind to one another, that is basic.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah, exactly. And then probably if I could just add to what Fox has just said, is just that for those of us who may not be steeped in the incarceration system in the way that Fox and I have, for those who may have never been touched by the criminal justice system in the way that Fox and I have, or in the way that you have, LaDonna, with having a family member incarcerated. Mm-hmm. Whatever the case is when it comes to that, there's something this Juneteenth that you can do really simple, and that is to be able to join this effort, to join this campaign by watching this film, witnessing one family's journey to freedom, and then be willing to walk that walk to be able to bring about that freedom for someone else. Yeah. And that is what we're urging people. We're urging 1 million people to engage in this conversation, this watching, and then the subsequent subsequent that'll follow this Juneteenth. And when you talk about being able to put something in the bucket or to be able to do something toward the ridding or the getting rid of what it is that we experienced in this situation, it would be a part of joining this campaigning and joining the conversation on how it is that we find solutions to the problem that we face.
Yes. So when you talk about galvanizing 1 million people watching on the same day, at the same time, the same truth, that's more than a film release, LaDonna Raeh. Yeah. That's a movement.
That's a thunderclap. Let's go. And shout out to your 6 sons who have been through this journey with you. I just want to say thank you guys for being on the LaDonna Raeh Show. I can't believe I've got you guys on my platform. Fox and Rob, I really, really, my hat goes off to you. I am going to be part of watching that movement. And tell everybody where they can watch, because if you're listening right now, I want you to head over to Time to Movie, and that's time, TWOmovie.com/watch time. And sign up. You'll get access to the original film time and be the first in line for the big announcement. Am I saying that right?
You saying that right?
Okay,
right.
All right. And then follow at Fox and Rob. It's FOXANDROB on all platforms. And stay plugged in with LaDonna Raeh Show, because we'll give you guys some updates and stuff.
You are amazing.
Yeah, you got to bring us back.
Just an amazing talent, and we're so very proud of you. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you so much.
Energy.
Make sure you guys come back now, all right?
Yes. Make sure you have us back. Don't be acting funny now.
Don't be acting funny,
Hey, I'm going to have my rhymes ready, because I'm going to be like, those are my rhyming buddies.
Love you.
Okay, love you more. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Take care, LaDonna.
You too. Wow, what an amazing couple. I am so excited and honored that we had Fox. And this is what I'm saying. When we have Fox and Rob on here, or we had Fox and Rob on here, we were able to dive into their story, their journey. And I am so honored to have brought them to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. Yes, on the LaDonna Raeh Show. Well, that's it for now, and it is time for us to wrap it up, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share the show. Comment. Comments are welcome. That's it. That's all I got. Bye-bye for now.
The one and only sexy mama, LaDonna Raeh.